Clutch themselves, the LCS squad, sitting in 9th, hoping to move on upwards, and maybe they can do so by bringing in Cody Sun, a man who, of course, made finals last spring and went to Worlds with the squad. But now we do have ourselves here Zoe, Callista, Jace off the table.
Yeah, versus Clutch Gaming, a lot of the bans have been very similar. It was previously the Aurelia, Cassiopeia, and Jace, but since Piglet is now in the mid lane, maybe there's a little bit less.
themselves.
They are going to ban it out as far as any of the level 6 kill pressure that you can bring with this champion. Broken Blade and Bjergsen also both use it.
Of course, it's going to be hard to know what Piglet's champion pool is, but Lissandra's been the most highly prized champion in pro play this patch, and no real surprise she's first.
Well, I can guarantee that Ryze is in it, Aurelia is in it, and Cassiopeia is in it, because those are the ones that I remember from him playing mid lane. Lissandra, as you said, though, is the all-around go-to mage, especially for mid laners that are trying to set up their teammates and set up a lot of roams towards that mid game.
Okay, well, they might roam down to the bottom lane. Xayah Rakan locked in very early, an extremely fast draft for both these squads. Seems like they knew what they wanted, grabbed it right away. Xayah Rakan, of course, a great bottom lane overall. No Callista as other lane bullies. I think the 2-on-2 can work pretty well. There's the Galio for support, most likely down there. So bot lane's known, and we know Lissandra and Ryze can go mid or top.
Yeah, especially when you can get the combination in the round 2 pick order here with Xayah and Rakan being picked up with confidence. Even the level 1 outputs much more pressure with that combination. We've seen people get early level kills on all sorts of champions. Lucian slash Braum even accepted there. So, and the Braum's not getting banned out here, so that very well could be the TSM move on the bottom side. We saw last weekend, they pulled out the Callista, that's why I was banned here. Sven going with the early game domination, and they absolutely smashed that bottom lane.
Yep, it's TSM saying they want to play for the early game and still trying to do so on this as we wait to see what the final ban will be from Clutch's side. Riven away from Broken Blade, hoping that counter pick doesn't come through based on whatever matchup Huni wants to play here.
Yeah, still banning a lot of top lane champions, even though the Ryze could be flexed up to the top side. The Galio, very likely a support, although the flexibility is still here. We saw it just last night in Korea.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
It's not gonna happen. We've been waiting a long time to see Bjergsen
Yay!
again.
I'm Captain Flowers and Skarner's amazing!
That is pretty close to the Flowers reaction, honestly.
Yeah. Did you know people don't often QSS the stuns, so you get free CC out of them? Oh, whoa, this is exciting, though. All right, here we go. Elise is in. Vayne is in as well. It's freaking Vayne mid or Vayne top.
Oh, my.
That's super high.
Actually, even though Piglet is the most recent AD carry player, I would rather see this Vayne in the hands of Huni. What about you?
But Piglet's got his own skin.
Where's your bit? That's true. That skin is pretty old.
Yep. I can see it going either way. Looks like Ryze and Akali are going to be the picks here. No TSM fans often excited to see Bjergsen on big carries his own, right?
If this is a mid Piglet Vayne, I'm going to lose my mind.
I mean, it could be any of the above. Oh, it's also worth noting there's really no tank on the Clutch side. Elise is not going to be that, and Lissandra barely is.
Yeah, so the Clutch team composition is designed around you hit someone with ACC, Rakan, Elise, or Lissandra, and you kill them instantly.
Yeah.
That's the whole game plan.
Wow, okay. This is going to be exciting. Again, Clutch need the 2-0 to make playoffs. TSM need the 2-0 to have a chance at taking the bye away from Cloud9. A loss for either team removes that option for both the squads.
Yeah, stick with that. They swapped it to Huni.
Huni, yeah. Vayne in the top lane versus Broken Blades Akali. Bjergsen and Piglet doing battle in the mid lane. By the way, I want to point out, Piglet did indeed beat Bjergsen last time they played as a mid laner.
Technically, yes. The
just
team
saying.
won.
Piglet beat Bjergsen in mid alongside 4 teammates on both sides. Possibilities are there. Coaches shake hands. This is going to be an exciting one as we get ourselves into summer.
I gotta say, the beginning of the day at Countdown, Mark picked Clutch Gaming because he was like, this team is going to be so exciting to watch. And he was right.
Yeah.
I am extremely excited for this game now. We're going to have Huni top Vayne. I think that he's going to go Klepto. You can also go Hail of Blades.
He's Hail of Blades, and this one we got loading screens
Yeah,
here.
Loading screen he has locked in now. It is Hail of Blades. It goes for much, much more powerful lane dominant style. And Akali will have an incredibly hard time dealing with that sort of play. The Vayne can easily play up to the top side. You get brush control. And with a jungler like Elise, I expect this Clutch Gaming composition to take fire early on.
All right, let's see what the fire early on is going to look like here. Clutch and TSM both looking for 2-0 runs this weekend. Week 9 of the LCS, or Clutch's run will be cut short, and they will not see the postseason. Piglet meeting up with Bjergsen in the mid lane, saying, hey, how about I fight you in a 1-on-1 and not a 3-on-1 when you dive my lane? Might look better. All right, we've got a sideline report. Let's check in with what the coaches have to say.
Thanks, Freak. I got a chance to catch up with Sebastian Park of Clutch Gaming to ask him a little bit about these last-minute roster changes that we've seen, and he told me very bluntly, listen, we're 5-11 right now. We have low chances of making playoffs. We need to make a change, and that change is bringing back Midlet and Cody Sun. Said that Cody Sun has been performing in Academy, so they wanted to give him a chance at LCS today, and bringing Piglet to the mid lane is going to unlock amazing potential and synergy, all on the top side with both Lyra and Huni. I'm excited to see it. Back to you guys.
Yeah, not only have they made some roster moves here, but even more exciting, some champion moves. Everybody's very, very hyped up on Huni on lane dominant champions, bully champions. And Vayne right now, not only is she a strong 1v1 laner for something like the Akali here, but scales incredibly well into the mid game.
Yeah.
All you need, your Blade of the Ruin King, your Rage Blade, and you can absolutely take over. Let's see what Huni can do here. You can see already establishing that control, as we talked about. On the top side, you can hover in the brush, get the autos off. It is greatly boosted by the fact that he got a couple of those Halo Blades autos off in the tri-bush, waiting for Broken Blade to walk back the lane.
And it's pretty big. Huni's actually zoning Broken Blade so far off. He's missing XP on some of these. His actual XP bar is 0 right now. He just got his first melee minion of experience of the entire minion wave.
And the biggest thing here, you touched on, loving Skarner and professing your newfound adoration for this champion. But Skarner is not going to do anything to rectify this situation. A Skarner versus Elise, the early game is Elise's kingdom here. So it should be about Lyra keeping Huni in this situation. All you really even have to do, like Piglet just did there, get a ward deep into Skarner's topside jungle, and there should be no influence here. A Vayne can tumble away from Skarner, dodge out the E, can also condemn the Skarner backwards, and the only thing Skarner has as a surprise factor is Flash.
Well, that's going to be the thing to look around then if it does come through, or the front line can tank up. I think back to Huni's sort of infamous Lucian top gain against TSM, and Maokai outscaled him. I'm not sure Galio and Skarner will do quite the same here in this one, but
I'm going to go with no.
Yeah, just worth pointing out that Clutch Gaming, again, don't have a great front line, so 5-on-5s, if it's fairly equal, is probably tough for them. We'll wait to see if that comes through as the mid lanes are fighting off against each other.
That is really true, and I feel like Clutch Gaming are going to very easily and quickly pay their taxes here. The Quicksilver Sash is going to be necessary. If they can get those on their carries, then Acadian becomes much less useful. Yes, you can point out the... Oh, here we go. Huni actually going to have some fun 2v1 here.
And you can see, of course, Acadian coming around to make sure that Broken Blade does not get dove here by the Elise, but with them sharing XP, of course, the even more experienced Broken Blade is going to miss for this, so still going to remain behind Huni. And
there's nothing that Skarner really gets to do to change this situation. You can come over and hug the tower with them, and they can hold hands under there while they watch CS die at the turret, but other than that, it is just rough life for an Akali here in this lane, and Huni should be able to continue his ways. Now, the main player I'm looking at, though, even though that's a cool matchup, is Lyra. Lyra is on the Elise, early game jungler, well-equipped to dive. Your Repel, you can drop tower aggro. She has execute damage, so it's going to be a lot about Lyra also proving himself. Why did they keep him on this lineup, rebuilding this team around Lyra? This is a game that they have to win if they want their playoff spot. And I think he's a player that has to perform.
Well, we'll see. His first bloods have been pretty good. The early game stats have been okay for Clutch. It's been the mid and late game that have fallen off. And as you'd mentioned during Champ Select, Cody Sun known as a late game hard farming carry. And as long as he gets his right resources and they get to the team fights with a gold lead to handle the tanks, maybe it looks good. Acadian running around through the jungle looking for any camps that might be up. As 4 minutes tick, the camps tend to respawn, but so far not finding any gold income for himself. Just an aggressive ward that Lyra will not spot as he goes through his own jungle.
Yeah, he's taking away some of the Raptor camp right now. Piglet does collapse and help Lyra a bit as he chases him off. So Acadian's going to have to get back to his own side.
Right now, Lyra not spotted. You can see the control ward in that southern jungle just below the red buff. So that's what Acadian did with his time. Thank you, observers. That has yet to see something. So far they're not tracking Lear, but if he goes to Krugs, they'll then know about what side he's on, and maybe it gives the chance for Broken Blade Academy to do something. Probably have to wait for 6 before that becomes anything good. Right now, 44 to 20 in CS is that top lane mark. Mid and bot, though, a bit closer to equal, and we'll see how many of these Broken Blade can grab as he tries to get now half the CS that Huni has, and will bleed many of the rest.
I would also say it's very beneficial for Clutch Gaming. The first dragon here is an Infernal Drake, dragging some extra pressure towards the bottom side. As we mentioned, though, Skarner once again went topside there, just farming up on the Krugs right now, and Piglet's going for the invade possibly.
Oh, he's on a ward, though, and his Scars Bloom just missed that when he tapped it earlier, so they actually know he's waiting for this and looking for what invade might be. Broken Blade knows he's safe, that Lusandra's not coming up, so he's able to farm, and Piglet goes back to lane.
All right, checking back in on the bottom lane. Decent amount of CS lead here for Sven and Smoothie in the 2v2 so far. Doing quite well for themselves. Galio, I really love this support. It's taken a lot of, well, some action here though. Okay.
Bjergsen 6 does not have TP up, but has the flash if he needs it for getting away. No harm, no foul.
And I like just looking at the positioning there. You know, Bjergsen, very, very good. Knows that he does not have vision on that top side with the controller that Clutch were able to put down. So he's playing defensively, doesn't extend himself, knows that Elise is on the warpath early on, looking for ganks onto these solo lanes.
And he's cleared away, and Piglet once again will try to go to the top side. Still going through a ward. This time Lyra spots it with the sweeper. 10 gold apiece. Zombie ward comes down, and still no room top side. That's another first teleport out for Broken Blade. Has his Hextech Revolver, and the ultimate access is here. So this is the window pretty soon, especially if Canadian hits 6, that they can maybe try to turn that Vayne lane around.
Yeah, I mean, you can be down 30 CS and still hit level 6 on Akali and go for a kill, right?
Yep.
It's definitely a lot of burst damage in the kit once you get access to your R button. Cadian does have a control ward onto this Infernal Drake, but not...
Oh, he ran too far away. It actually broke the tether? Or?
It doesn't matter because there's like a TSM control ward in the back of the pit, as you could see right under the Skarner right there. So they know that there is vision. Just worried about can he do anything about it. Both mid laners have recalled, so you don't want to be too risky.
Well, no play made for that. Caden, last we saw his XP was 5.1. He's got a long way to go to the ultimates available. A bot lane brush gank. Vulcan's going to throw the Q. Oh, nice ward. Puts it down. They knew something might have been amiss. Really smart play. You saw Cody-san very far away in case Vulcan had the jump. Was able to do so. No harm. And they get away from that brush gank.
All right, this is kind of the one point of power and offensive lane for TSM right now. And Lyra is trying to turn it around. Just out of Fog of War. See if they bait in a move from TSM. If Vulcan steps up, he might be the one to do it.
I think they don't know if Skarner could be here as well. They've only seen Smoothie ever. That ward's been turned off every time. So the chance of a 3v3 may be a bit of a possible punish, so they just can't play this far up, even though they're actually outnumbering the opposition. We know Akali can't TP. Huni burned his recently as well. Hextricker first item to not get all in.
Assistance ping put down there by TSM members. I think they're calling for a roam down here, maybe from Acadian afterwards. He's not going to be able to get level 6 off this because he's handing it off to Bjergsen, though. Yeah,
and they'll see Bjergsen in mid with blue, so they'll actually know Acadian has to be bot side.
No.
So now they know jungle position, they know mid position, they know top has no TP. And that gives a lot of sort of explanations. There comes the all into the bot side, not catching the Ven just yet. Still trying as he jumps away. The re-engage across towards Vulcan puts him low, but no, they'll have the Galio damage. First blood is in, and it goes to Cody's son.
And the patience pays off for Clutch Gaming. Assistance ping goes unheeded there, and it is going to be a kill over. Let's see, Acadian takes this moment, though, to clear out the control ward. Will he go for the dragon afterwards, knowing there were recalls bottom? Skarner can solo this dragon, by the way. Very, very strong on the Spire right here. Gives you plenty of attack speed. Looks like he's going to do so. So that is not without a cost there. An Infernal Drake for TSM. They're kind of happy to get that on the back half of the first blood going over.
Yeah, that's going to be extra stats, and with how many damage dealers this team has, it could be a very big deal for them going through to the mid and late game. As the Drake goes down, some extra XP goes to Acadian. He gets closer to 7. We still keep track of the rest of these lanes with top 91 to 57.
And that dragon earned by Smoothie and Sven's play here in the 2v3. Even though they do give up the kill, they do a lot of damage. Nice initiation there from Vulcan, gets the full combo onto Sven. Then they turn their sights towards Smoothie here because the Galio can't get back out, even though he starts his ultimate. And with the extra shield, nobody from CG does go down.
Top lane remains a farm off for now. Looks like it's getting tightened up a little bit. Broken Blade not hemorrhaging as much CS as before, with a bit of extra ability power to last hit minions, and level 9 will be a bunch of extra damage on that Q when it comes through.
Yeah, able to get a lot of them with that. Looks like we're gonna have Shelly picked up here though, with plenty of time left on the turret plates, so should be pretty easy to cash in. And if I was Lyra, I would definitely give the Rift Herald spawn over to Huni. Not only will it break a large part of this tower, but giving more gold onto this Vayne makes her such an unstoppable force. From a solo lane experience perspective, you get to your ultimate and more ranks in your queue that much earlier. If you can have the items to back it up, having had to go the Hex Drinker in the Akali matchup, you still need a lot of extra money to get your attack speed items down, get your Rage Blade, get your Blade of the Ruin King. So if they give the Rift Herald to his lane and don't send anyone else up there, there will be more money funneled into the Huni train.
It will be, so you got to keep your eyes peeled for when that does get burned and when that 320 gold comes in from the slam. Usually on average gets you 2 plates, and that's the monetary reward for that. Acadian, of course, shows himself topside, puts an extra trinket ward down to make sure that Broken Blade can stay safe. Not picked off by an Elise, so far they're fine. Burns the W for some energy, goes back to the turret.
Meanwhile, one Blade of the Ruin King has been picked up, bottom side by Sven for TSM. They've definitely been CSing well down there. Bjergsen is pushing this lane. Maybe they get a roam off here. It looks like mostly going to be some control ward duty, though. So they've got a lot of wards to clear out.
Acadian going to spot a Clutch Gaming control ward down there. Of course, it was used to help secure Herald. That happened a little while ago. Nice attacks in Broken Blade. A single auto triggered back. That's advantageous to the Akali, who's catching up time over time. The CS deficit only 30, so instead they're going to donate gold to the bottom side. Cody's son instead can catch up. They've got to make sure they stay within about 1,000 units to get that local gold, and 2 of them get that share, as 3 plates have now fallen off of that turret.
Shelly turns around, get the eyeball hit there from Sven, and it does go down. Interesting choice. It is even split between the support and marksman here as far as the gold plates.
Yeah. Vulcan maybe could have taken an extra step back to donate it over, but now bot lane dive, no Quicksilver Sash, instant TP burned by Piglet. Of course, that must complete, and they're going to have Broken Blade, running away. Doesn't want to get caught up by that stun. They could have waited out that Shroud. But Acadian is going to try to reveal. He'll spot Piglet, and he could choose to go back. You can see Piglet now kept running towards that bottom side. There's
They lost vision on Huni, though, so not quite sure if he's still there or not. Is going for the recall. Regardless, pretty big stabilization here for TSM. Keep mentioning how the top side CS lead isn't continuing to grow, as Broken Blade, with a couple of visits from Acadian, some attention, has been able to push out quite a few of the waves as well.
So the TPs are back up. We'll see if the top laners want to walk back to lane or teleport to keep the farms going well. Actually going to see Broken Blade waiting around, not going to wait, or not going to recall just yet, but see the push come through for Huni. Might see the reset before too long, and QSS, of course, he's easily got the money for it if he's going to deal with a second Skarner gank. Spires go back, Piglet looks top, doesn't find anything. Bot lane still is 16 CS difference, but the plates taken down kind of bridge that gap pretty cleanly here. You can see it's actually a gold lead because of First Blood puts Cody's son 200 ahead of Sven.
I have to say, so far, the Clutch Gaming changes look pretty good to me.
Sure.
Piglet, even though hasn't had some big impact getting First Bloods, he has done a lot of the things that I'm looking for from mid laners after pushing off the wave, going in for vision, helping out his jungler on invades. Looks like they're going to do one of those right now.
Yes, looking at that blue buff. Skarner's still in his base. Going to be a little while till he gets there. Smoothie waiting around, but this is really a lot of damage really fast. And a smite to secure it. Didn't quite know where Skarner might have been. Either way, it's still a blue stolen with the time to get back to his own blue buff before it respawns.
All right, with all this attention down bottom side, let's see what the setup is going to be like. Drake number 2 is a Cloud Drake in 25 seconds. And right now, pretty good setup for as far as control wards.
It's a good Drake, especially for Skarner, who is very much a move speed scaling champion. And I think TSM would really like to have that one to find those ults on the good targets.
Yeah, since so much of this game is going to depend on, is TSM going to land crowd control on a lot of these squishy members from Clutch Gaming or not? Speed for both teams is very important. And Clutch have brought 3 of their members down to the bottom side. Lyra does get vision onto Skarner.
Okay, so they know that's of course a possibility as this Drake is alive. Bot lane push going to go first to Clutch Gaming's side as the squad kind of stuck in the river. Lyra still waiting around.
So there is a teleport discrepancy between the top laners right now, as Huni still has his teleport on the Vayne, walking all the way back to lane. So technically they could have tried to go with something with an extra person play on the bottom side, but with mid lane and bottom lane both recalling, this Dragon is given over to TSM, and they will stack up another Elemental Drake.
That's pretty solid, despite the gold deficit, where Clutch Gaming is ahead here. It's localized most of the top side of the map. They're not useful in this Drake fight, and TSM getting, in my opinion, the best 2 Drakes in the game for overall gameplay with the Infernal and Cloud. And they're going to feel pretty solid about that one. Huni having a hard time last hitting on her turret. Blade of the Rune King makes that awkward.
He hasn't gone back to base in quite a long time. Huni's got like 3,000 gold on him right now in his pocket, so he's going to have a huge purchase, and we'll see if he goes offensive after this. There's a ward behind Broken Blade right now. They're actually pinging that control ward. That might be the TP site. No, he goes for one of the closer ones.
Okay, Huni just TPing back in the lane itself. Has the full completed Blade of the Rune King. Waited for that amount of money. So that's the first sort of bit of damage available to him. I correct myself, earlier item wasn't done just yet.
For him.
Okay, Broken Blade gonna jump in. Gonna get some decent damage here in this. Has used an ult charge. Goes another auto attack. Huni's gotta be careful. He's pretty low on health. He's backwards. Gets big damage, and Huni gets chunked down to 10%. Has to rely on lifesteal now.
Woo, yeah, that Hex Drinker definitely necessary for Huni. Bottom side, actually.
Big damage on Cody's son. Realm Warp coming in as well with 2 teammates. Nice play on a Vulcan. Going for the root, trying to buy some time. Clutch running for the hills, and they might just find that safety. They do. Surviving a 2v4, burning 3 summoners.
Really incredible play there. Disengage from Vulcan, locking them up, and Piglet wants to answer.
Not going to get taunted yet by Smoothie, but could go. No, not going to go for a flash ult. Not going to try to turn around a kill, but instead just walking down to save that gank. Lyra pushes in mid lane, and Survival still in this bottom lane.
All right, they're not letting them get the recalls off either. Piglet going in.
Defensive taunt, Smoothie. That's going to drop now for him, but no, they're going to give this one up. Not going to go for the dive, just going to get rid of a control ward. It still does, again, mean farm for Clutch's side. As you can see right there, they indeed must win this to have a chance at playoffs at all. And they're going to find that stun on the support. Lots of damage early on the claw forward as well. No one time just yet. One hit, nice knockup, flashed away, but they might still burn down Lyra. The health was getting lower. Zen picks up one, but it's traded back, and now it says Lucian against the roll. Does have flash, might have to burn against the wall. Not yet, though. Finds damage on a Piglet who pushes himself away. And 1v3, Sven forces them out, but the turret will go over. Extra gold to Cody's son.
Yeah, Cody's son decided to stay on the turret there. They wanted the objective, so they don't bring 3 members to chase off Sven. And in the end, gold traded over pretty quickly once again. All in all, though, I have to say, this Clutch Gaming squad is increasing the gold lead.
Well, Acadian's here, and Vulcan is the only one with the summoner down here, but kills a ward. Not going to go for the ult, not going to go for the play there. Blue Smite might have made it possible, but doesn't make that happen.
Definitely an action-packed early game here. Let's take another look at this find. I think they double up this crowd control. Yeah, so
early.
It is Lissandra ultimate and immediate cocoon. So they double stack their CCs. They do not layer them. He does get a good flash out of the Justice Punch, but then gets off the damage to answer the kill, meaning it is just a 1-for-1 in this 4v2 on the bottom side. In the end, Cody's son stays on the turret. So that means everybody pulls back.
That play still works out. It's extra money. It's a lot to get that turret plus the first turret bonus there. 3 of the plates were taken earlier on, so decent amount of money earned. And bottom lane difference in farm is 20 CS, but as we know, it's still a 200 gold lead to Cody's son based on the kills and everything else going down. Essence Reaver into rapid fire cannon is interesting. Of course, the attack kit hasn't been buffed yet. This is still 9.5 without the buffs to Xayah W. So it does need attack speed somewhere in the build, and does so with rapid fire cannon and boots.
All right, plenty of extra vision here has been left behind in this bottom side jungle, as you can see from TSM. So Vulcan is going through, clearing out a lot of that ward as they take down the last outer turret. This could be the area where TSM will be a little pushed into Clutch Gaming territory.
My bot lane, the only lanes that have lost turrets so far as Wave Clear comes through. Pretty easy for Lucian and Gallia, but Piglet might want in. Forces a flash. Knew he was dead if the ult landed with the reinforcements coming around, so that's that down. Predator pop by Acadian, but doesn't find himself a target either. 0-0-0 for the jungler, has yet to predate on anyone.
All right, let's check back in on the top side because we have Elise going up here to answer. Broken Blade by himself at the turret as Huni's been whittling away at it. But with Broken Blade getting to the Gunblade, we saw how much burst damage potential he does have on the Vayne. And if Huni is ever alone, then he's definitely vulnerable to getting chased down.
Yeah. CSD in top side is up to 45, not counting this wave, which is a bit of a misleading factor otherwise. And that means it has actually grown slightly over time. Huni's managed to deny more than he has lost. Broken Blade will get this wave without much issue, but that turret's done about 1/3 HP. So, so far with the Ruin King done, you can see that 500 gold bounty on him. Bonus 200. He is getting Some advantages up there. A lot of the gold lead is him. Nice pick right there onto a Kaden, half HP. Not committing the ult though. Not going to commit to go for the kill, but now a stun here against Broken Blade. Good early damage, pushing forward. Now finds a Galio. He's going to double just outside of the range of the Galio ult and flashes. He's afraid of Skarner, afraid of the Rise ult. They're going to come in right on top of him. There's a jump forward. They're going to find that ultimate. Trying to turn around his Vulcan. Not going to find it just yet. It's already the dead Vayne. Now maybe a re-engage. Who's not going to land. It's, oh no, it's Piglet on the side of the team. Damage towards Akedi. One more shot. Piglet jumps in and finds a kill with the Q. And now a taunt towards Lyra. Pops a stopwatch. Jumps into the air. Looking for the re-engage. Maybe is TSM as they find a route. Ult in for Cody's Sun. Over the wall. Broken Blade. Damage out from Sven. But no more kills. Just the 1-for-1 as we stop down.
Yeah, what a skirmish there. So much mobility on both sides, and actually really nice usage of the stopwatch into repel from Lyra to get himself out of there. That was definitely a dangerous situation. Regardless, though, Mountain Drake's still available, and it looks like they're circling back around. Lyra here going to the bottom side through TSM wards.
Okay, everything gets shoved down. This is going to be still a very exciting game. 2,000 gold apart. Is Drake alive? We know a lot of pros really love the Mountain Drakes with a chance of knocking down major objectives, and who's better at it than a team with a Vayne and another marksman, plus at least a secure? Would look nice for Clutch, and TSM want to at least deny it, if not take one themselves.
So much of Clutch's power as we move further into the game does really rely upon Huni being able to be a side lane threat too. If they're not able to make this Vayne work in the 1v1 because of the Galio threat, because of Rise Realm Warps threatening to influence that 1v1, and Broken Blade can go 100% in at any moment, then it becomes very difficult for Clutch Gaming to gain momentum on this map.
Forcing the ult out of Huni. He thought he was going to jump on a Broken Blade, but it doesn't happen. So that is now a fairly sizable cooldown missing. And as we see Huni's build goes towards that recurve bow, he's getting Rage Blade before QSS. So he's still a viable Skarner target. As now Mountain Drake will be pulled out, and TSM might get their third straight Drake pickup, and it'll be the same three elements for the rest of the game here as Mountain goes down, and no one's here to contest. It would be a bit of a miracle steal. Lyra might try, puts out the skill shots.
He has flash.
He's near range, he's near range, he's gonna find this fight right away. Acadius does not find the F key. And press F to pay respects for that Drake going over. CG picking it up.
Lyra makes it look easy with the walking by, smites the dragon. Look like right about 550 health there, and Clutch Gaming are able to move in and take the tower afterwards. Some objectives going their way, and now they're pushing this lead much, much better. Huni on the top side, top tower about to go down as well.
He'll get it.
This is a pretty big swing point.
Okay. That press along the sidelines is still working. Mid lane, it is Bjergsen ahead about 40 CS. That's certainly non-trivial, and Rise can start taking over team fights before too long without cleanse available. We can watch Lyra just walk up and casually up smash, smite.
All right, yeah, they've got 4 members. Goes down here. Everybody from TSM backing away from the Baron. They don't want to get pincered between the Lissandra and the Rakan engaged there. You can see it was very, very close to Clutch Gaming pulling that off and actually closing the trap, but TSM pulled away, did not want to lose anything for that Mountain Drake and risk giving away a bunch of gold right now.
No, it's still going to be defensive play. And we saw the stat earlier. TSM are 6-1 with gold deficits at 10, 15, or 20 minutes. So we know their ability to play the mid-game out and come back is completely there. And they checked all those boxes, so it'll be 6-2 or 7-1 after this one.
Also, when we're going over the team compositions, a team like Clutch Gaming side that doesn't have as much health to rely on, they have to rely on not making mistakes. It's all about dodging skill shots, hitting your own skill shots. Things like the Elise play that we just saw are hard to pull off. And if you're going up against a Skarner and a Galio that can provide much more reliable plays, the likelihood of being able to pull off the Clutch Gaming side just does go down as time goes on. At some point, you slip up and you can get punished. So that's why the pressure is definitely a little bit more on their side, even with this gold lead.
And of course, sadly for Clutch, slipping up in execution has been kind of the name of the split for them. They're sitting here alone in 9th place. They might misplay us even if they do win this game. And it's been a rough split for them as with the new look lineup, and now they're gonna try for top side as there's really nowhere for Vayne to go. Assassination is trying. Huni's ignited, he will not yet drop. The shields come in, they're still trying. This Vayne, he's still surviving, are you serious? Turning it back around now is Cody's Sun. You got Piglet here as well, but look out, here is Sven. Vayne finally drops down to Bjergsen. They are running for the hills, trying to get away. a stun by the second with a taunt. We'll turn it around anyway. It's an absolute slaughter. 3 kills and make it a 4th. They have cut down Clutch Gaming where they stand, and TSM turn right for the Baron.
Whoever said the AD carry can't flank, Sven comes in and turns the entire fight around. TSM will take the Baron, and they will be marching down mid.
And that just flips the game back over to them. TSM and beating top lane marksman in the late game. Have you seen it before? I believe you have. It was Huni who was receiving it last time as well. This 2v1 starts it off.
All right, so they got a Cadian in the brush. At the moment where you see this go off, you think, all right, he's gotta be dead, right? But Huni goes invisible with the ult tumble. He's at like maybe 1 HP.
21.
Vulcan comes in from the river off screen, saves him here, but there's another person gonna come in from off screen. Coming up the river, you can see right now, Sven on Lucian will land the culling, chasing everybody off. Huni has to go back inside the team, trying to dodge any sort of damage. Bjergsen's able to flash in there with the rise, explode him, and then Sven chases down the extra kills onto the entire backline here, and TSM are able to bring it all together. Unless he has Ludens? Yeah, no Ludens.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably an auto. So actually really good selection there from Bjergsen.
Yeah.
Presence of mind to be able to get that off.
Yeah, he put the E on Elise, but I believe she wasn't marked already, so it wasn't a splash E, it was E into the right click and got that one off. So of course that...
What a timely plug for LCS big plays.
You know, they're just timed to be at 26 minutes, 28 seconds. It's strange how that lined up there. Yeah, nothing else to see here. Nice wards getting cleared out, and TSM sit now at their first 2,000 gold lead of the game, hoping to catch and surpass Cloud9 in the standings, and that's going to be Broken Blade. I don't think he has a great way out. Does have flash and jumps over that wall. No one can catch him. Wow, okay.
It might not be a great way out, Freak, but it's a way out.
It is a way out. And you're going to see now more of this fall as that turret drops. TSM now 4-3 in that score line, and suddenly Broken Blade's back, where he left off, and finding more to do on that side of the map as this turret's going to drop as well. Acadian shoving this one in with Bjergsen. And it's now 5-3 in turrets, with a full court press still continuing as a secondary turret in the bot lane is under siege.
Yeah, great play there from a Broken Blade. Under pressure, 2v1, making use of all of Akali's mobility and the Shroud there to be able to get out of that just over the wall. Quite nicely timed, and it allows TSM to keep the pressure up with the Baron. Just teleports right back out of the map. He continues split pushing, and they're able to close in on the inhibitor turrets already after being down thousands of gold this entire game. They just rocket ahead.
And they're going to keep trying on this one now. Clutch Gaming, Huni put down a half HP, gets a shield. Vulcan looks to re-engage, can't find that one. Akali just sitting there on the bottom side, marking against Piglet. Piglet does have teleport, so they can try to force a 5v4 in some way, but it's not happening just yet as these two marksmen share farm. And looks like Cody's Sun lasted it more.
TSM setting up for quite the match tomorrow versus Team Liquid. Currently, TSM are already 9 wins out of their last 10 games. This would make it a complete 10 out of their last 11. Heading into the end of the split with so much power. Here goes the Realm Warp down to bottom side. They're going to get this inhibitor turret, and they're inside the base.
Oh, they're going to actually go forward with Piglet here. Decent damage. He's going to watch out. Pulls himself. Zhonya's no damage yet on the Bjergsen trying to find him. A nice Zhonya's going to make a lot of time built as Lordy Vayne is dead. They're going to keep trying in this fight, though. Piglet's still running away. Going to still be knocked down. That's 2-0 across the map. The route onto Lyra. Stop one for a few seconds, but the Zhonya's will not save him. 3 kills in a row. And it's the bot lane kiting away from Broken Blade, but TSM have everything they need. They've got 5 alive, they've got Baron, and they've got minions and Nexus turrets, Kobe.
Broken Blades Akali has some style, and TSM are going to make quick work of the Nexus turrets.
The chance that they buy into the playoffs is still alive. 9-3 in kills. A valiant attempt for Clutch Gaming's bottom lane to stay alive in this one, but it will not happen. The Nexus assuredly will fall. TSM will grab their 12th win of the split, and they will look to do battle with Team Liquid tomorrow as they pad the KDA and hope for that playoff bye.
Honor, tilt proof. You know, the Vayne matchup, definitely difficult to deal with early on.
Yeah.
Broken Blade come up with some big plays later in the game for the team. Meanwhile, Sven and Smoothie on the bottom side have been such a rock for this team, holding that power through the early game, making the offensive plays for them.
Yeah. 1, 2, and 7 for Smoothie. 8 out of 9 kill participation. Overall, great stuff out of them. Had a solid bot lane. The Akali top lane you mentioned, Broken Blade Tiltproof, ended the game up in gold over Huni. Just found the openings when it needed to happen, did so pretty well. And TSM improved yet again. Team Liquid, they're one of the few teams who have beaten them here, TSM, and they will match them tomorrow. This does mark the end of the road for Clutch Gaming. They have a game to play tomorrow, but it does not have playoff implications for them. They are locked out. They cannot catch 6th place anymore. We'll have to wait for Summer Split to do that again.
Meanwhile, TSM add another comeback victory to their list as well.
7-1 when down at 10, 15, and or 20 minutes. But now for more on that game, let's send it over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. 7-1 on the back half of the split. It only gets better for TSM when it comes to their record and their continued push to maybe challenge Cloud9 for that second playoff bye. For Clutch Gaming, that will be the end of their playoff hopes with that draft.
Rest in
Let's
peace.
talk about the draft. They brought in the substitutions. Cody Sun back into ADC. Piglet up to the mid lane. We get a Vayne top.
This is
Why?
why?
This is why I want them in playoffs games. It's fun.
Right, but they have to get there first, Mark.
Why?
Why?
They have to get to playoffs if you want to see them there having fun.
All right, so
let's talk about this draft.
To be fair, the 4-man core they drafted was pretty good. It's very early game centric, but it has a lot of pick-off potential. You have Rakan, Elise, and Lissandra, who can hopefully blow someone up in the 4-man group.
This Elise isn't even that good. You're both magic. You're
It's not
asking for a cleanse.
It's not great for mid lane. The mid laner, easily takes cleanse, but it does force a lot of QSSs out if you want to go for that. If you're the Lucian, short-range Lucian, it's actually kind of hard to team fight against that. But you need to actually get ahead very far with that, and then you should probably also want a good split pusher with that 4-man core.
Like a Jax would have been sick with that, right? Physical damage, he's a little tanky, can go in.
Right, if you absolutely needed him to group, he would still be somewhat useful in that situation. Because I think what we find as we talk about, how solid that 4-man core was, and even if we isolate Vayne as a pick, within the lane, all right, fine, built a lead, got some gold. But how do you transition that lead as a Vayne against the likes of TSM's comp here? A Skarner who can just pick you out, a Galio who can meet them in the side lane if Akali takes that 1v1, or hey, even at some times, Broken Blade got to the point where he could clearly handle Vayne alone.
Yeah, I mean, even Ryze has a really good job collapsing in the side lane, so TSM had a great comp for dealing with this Vayne. Laning phase is rough, but Broken Blade didn't tilt, which is like the #1 thing when you're playing against Vayne top.
But I think we got to give a lot of props to TSM. Their drafting has been really good, and the Akali in particular, knowing that you're up against a Vayne is so effective because any other champion is probably going to get pounded in that lane, but the fact that you can shroud every single time. You saw in the 1v1s, you can never proc your silver bolts against him, and so the Akali is always there putting pressure against the Vayne. So it almost looked like they thought that Vayne was going to be able to win the lane against everything, and they won up it with the Akali, just ruining the plan even more.
I mean, they do win by 30 CS in the actual matchup, but Elise was bot lane. Elise was not camping top. They didn't kill the Akali, and a lot of these like super hard counter lane focused split pushers need to smash the lane, kill, take turrets, not get a 30 CS lead and then get outscaled.
Right, exactly. Mark, when we were loading into the game, you said, I expect Huni to get a lead, to develop his own lead here in the top lane. And then I also believe that at some point in the mid game, he will either tumble forward or end up in a situation where he dies and baits his entire team into a losing fight.
Genius call by him.
I don't think it was that hard to see. I bet a lot of people on Reddit made the same prediction. And this was a play where there's so many cooldowns out of Clutch Gaming being used to save Huni that they're not really picking their own fight. They're not picking a target to kill. They're just trying
This is a Saving Private Ryan mission. This isn't let's utilize these same abilities instead offensively. Let Huni die.
I didn't finish the movie, but a lot of people went down on that.
A lot of people went down in the efforts to save Private Ryan.
I'm more upset about that than the draft pick.
It was a sad movie.
You gotta finish the movie.
Yeah, actually, that is really sad. You should finish that movie. But I thought you were talking about that fight.
No, I mean, forget that fight. You didn't see Saving.
TSM, though, I think that's the other thing we have to talk about, right? Is the fact that this team continues to pick up steam moving towards the playoffs, and especially considering the loss from Team Liquid today and the fact that both of these teams rematch tomorrow for our final game of the regular split. I mean, that's already a marquee matchup. matchup. But if they're able to pick up that second win against TL, would you consider them the favored team going into playoffs, even though they won't occupy the #1 position?
That's a good question.
Right?
Yeah. I would say probably.
If they win tomorrow.
Right. If they win tomorrow, they got the tiebreak over TL. They have been beating everyone, it feels like. I do think that it's like a close triangle then between the top three. I don't think it's clearly like TSM's now the best.
Right.
But I think their mid-game shot calling has been very impressive and probably the most impressive thing from this turnaround.
I think their drafts have been the better.
That too.
Like,
yeah.
they have had the best draft so far, so I do think that they come in as a pretty strong favorites when it comes to that. Now, if that game goes long against Team Liquid and we really get to see the decision-making that both these guys have late, it's going to help determine who is really the favorite, because in a best of 5, it's obviously you're going to have a game that goes late.
And if we're going to talk draft, then I think we got to talk coaching staff, right?
Yeah.
Zix coming on over to TSM. I mean, what a massive acquisition, just by the nature of it, right? To take him from CLG, but also what it seems to be producing for this team. It did take a little bit of time. You know, early weeks weren't fantastic for the squad, but hey, their drafting has fallen in line. The direction that they have in the mid-game seems to be working, and I think it needs to be talked about, especially when you consider MVP, Rookie, and Coach of the Split Awards are right around the corner.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got a new top laner, you've got a jungler that wasn't supposed to be there, you've got a new support that just got parted with a long-time AD carry, and Bjergsen as the crown of your jewel, right? And so just working off that and now saying, oh, you are the #1 favored team in playoffs in one split only is just remarkable.
Yeah, ton of credit to Tony, but also, yeah, remember, they have Plop as well,
yes,
which was kind of Tony's understudy for a really long period of time, and he came over from CLG as well. So they didn't just get, you know, the coach, they got the whole coaching tree.
Yeah,
they got the whole tree to move over with them, which was a pretty big pickup.
I think what I heard that makes him really such a powerful coach is that he's always on about the game. So he's always thinking about the game, always talking to the players about the game, involved in the streams, and that sets a really strong example for your players, because the coach is kind of like your father figure. You look up to what he's doing. If the coach is not really, oh, he's lounging around today, he's taking the day off, you're going to feel the same way. But if your coach is always playing, always watching, you're going to be in the same way.
Well, I love that point about, you know, having the influence in more areas than just the controlled practice environment. Yes, even when they're streaming or playing solo queue, he's still involved in that, taking notes, having influence, and whatnot. But this TSM squad looks fantastic. I now want to talk about our Game 4, because these are two of the teams that they will likely have to go through at some point during the playoffs if they do want to challenge for the spring split crown. That is Cloud9 and FlyQuest. Since we touched on the TL matchup, we're going to skip past them. Let's talk about Game 4 and what we want to see out of C9 or FlyQuest here to really convince us that they too can make a run for the spring split title.
So I really want to see a lot of priority on Lissandra and utilizing that pick to roam around the world. She's very
from
powerful.
One team in particular?
From both teams. And everybody has to be contesting Lissandra. Ryze as well, a very powerful flex pick. So these mages that not only set up ganks really well, but go into late game team fight scaling that can always engage are really important right now. So whichever team can flex these best is the one that I'm looking at as a playoff favorite.
I just want to see FlyQuest prove that the upset win over Team Liquid was not this like kind of fluky, haha, we got them, they messed up, and we're having an off day. If they can not just, you know, winning is obviously what you want, but a close fight versus C9 as well is really what I want to see out of FlyQuest, because if they beat Team Liquid and then they beat C9, is it really a 3-horse race for who's the best team in the league, or is it now a 4-horse race?
Yeah, very much so. That is something that has to be considered. I mean, yeah, it's, all of a sudden we have so many horses.
We got a stable.
We need a whole stable. Let's remember that Cloud9 on the back half have also been quite impressive. They've dropped 1 game to Liquid, and they've dropped 1 game to Echo Fox in the beginnings of that Echo Fox 3-win run. So for them to be able to bounce back here against FlyQuest and then take a win tomorrow over a struggling Clutch Gaming will definitely set them off in the right foot heading towards playoffs.
I think the interesting thing about Cloud9 is that they always seem to be making right moves, just messing up in execution. So it only just takes a little bit more practice for them to refine that play and go really far in wherever they're competing. I mean, remember the match against Team Liquid, a little bit of misexecution. The game where Sven had a pretty poor performance. It really was just slivers of error in winning a complete game, just smashing it, to throwing slightly. So if they just clean that up, they'll be so good.
Clean it up just a little bit. This could be a preview of a future playoff best of 5. Time for a break. When we return, it's Cloud9 versus FlyQuest. Don't touch that browser.